Ready.
All right. Ready? All right, are we recording?
Yeah.
Sure, don't.
Good? No? Okay.
Great.
This meeting is called to order. Please stand as you're able for the flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. This meeting is called pursuant to the provisions of the Open Public Meetings Law. This meeting of August 12, 2024 was included in the list of meetings notice sent to the Hunter County Democrat and Courier News on January 2024, posted on the bulletin board at Borough Hall on that date and has been continuously posted as required. In addition, a copy of this notice is and has been available to the public and is on file in the office of the Borough Clerk. Can I have a roll call, please?
Sure, Councilwoman Engelhardt,
Thirty late.
Councilman Fasar. Here. Councilman Levitt,
Here.
Council President Long.
Here.
Councilman Parker.
Here.
Council Vice President Rosetti. Here. And Mayor. Carroll.
Here. Okay, let's have a couple of things. Carla and Attorney Corsini, what did we decide to do about the compliance?
I
We're
say
gonna- we're
read
just
the
gonna
letter.
do the reading of that's not the resolution, right?
There's no need to do
Uh,
a resolution. If you
No,
want to
okay,
do
so
that.
do it, no, I don't want to do the resolution, if I don't have to do it, so is that here, Carla?
Yeah, I gave you the whole letter.
So what do I have to read? I have to read them,
I would just read the cover letter, especially the last paragraph
where is the cover link?
from, it's stapled, Beth.
I don't have a cover letter, I don't have a cover letter. Unless it got attached to something else, no, I don't have a cover letter. Sorry.
Oh, yeah.
This, just one class.
It's a very large class.
Just one class.
Very
Okay, all
large.
right, so I have a couple things. Number one, I just want to thank everybody who volunteered from the community, from the council, police department, the public works department, the rescue squad, the fire department, the SCP volunteers, their board members have volunteered, Robin, everybody who put together the Corn Beer Tomato Festival. It was a huge success, weather cooperated. I think everybody had a really good time. It was a really nice event. And I just wanna comment that it was a great event. Robin, you did a good job.
Mhm.
Onward and upward. You guys, Sip and Stroll coming up next. No rest for the weary.
Thursday.
And then the other thing I just wanna say is that our planner, Beth McManus, has finished her consistency review for Liberty Village. To make sure that it is consistent with everything that was agreed upon, and I need to read this, and then I need a motion to move this on to the planning board finally. So this is from Beth McManus to you all, council level. Liberty Village redevelopment area was designated as a non-condemnation redevelopment area on October 12, 2021 through resolution 2021-15 by the Borough Council. Redevelopment area consists of 10 lots, approximately 23 acres, located generally at the intersection of New Jersey Route 12, Stengel Road, and Church Street. It is bisected by the Black River and Western Railroad. On December 13, 2021, through ordinance 2021-28, the Borough adopted the Liberty Village redevelopment plan. In 2024, the Borough adopted an amendment to the redevelopment plan for phase 1 of the project, and an amended and restated redevelopment agreement was entered into on May 13, 2024. Article 3, subsection 3.1, the redevelopment agreement states the developer shall submit an application to the Borough Council for a consistency determination prior to applying for the site plan approval. As noted below, the majority of submission and other requirements have been satisfied. The redevelopment agreement, section 3.2b, requires that the submission be substantially consistent with the redevelopment agreement and the redevelopment plan. Those items listed identified below, I'm not going to go through the whole thing, are most critical for satisfaction before the council considers the finding of substantial compliance. I recommend the council find in favor of consistency. So this is a public document, so anybody wants to look at it can. And does anybody have any questions? I have a motion to find this consistent and move it on to the planning board for hearing.
Long move.
Is there a second?
Parker second.
Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Fasaro,
Yes.
Councilman Levitt,
Yes.
Council President Long,
Yes.
Councilman Parker,
Yes.
and Council Vice President Rossetti.
Yes,
Thank you. Carla, can you please tomorrow email George Malone so that he can apply
Okay,
to get on the agenda?
I'm sure he's emailing me right now.
Is he watching? I do it, is he up there?
Nope.
No, okay, all right. And then I just also wanna say we have a lengthy executive session tonight, so I am gonna, I'm not gonna. We're hopefully we'll make some progress on these two issues of the signs and the banner. But I'm not expecting, if it gets too long, we'll just continue it at the next meeting. So that's. I think with everything, it's been a quiet month, a lot of meetings got canceled, this month, passed, so. Okay, Council President Long?
Sure, a few things, and Councilwoman Englehart's running late, so she asked me to report her stuff as well, so I got a few things here. So again, as the mayor had said, Corn Tomato Beer was a great day. Always nice to see a bunch of people in one place having such a great time. Obviously, congrats all around. I spent a few hours with the fire department. Those volunteers, we were busy pouring some beers, and it was work. Let me tell you. But it was great. It was wonderful. A lot of fun, a lot of great conversations. Oh, they did. So again, thanks to everyone involved, and I know in the OEM report, there's some more notable people to thank. So yeah, mission accomplished, Robin. It was great. Fire department, there were 30 incidents in July, just some numbers as usual. These aren't all the incidents, just a sampling of kinds of events that happened. One passenger vehicle fire, one motor vehicle accident with no injuries, 6 electrical shorts, 2 unintentional alarm system activations, there was no fire. 1 false alarm or false call, 4 dispatch canceled en route. 10 incidents were out of town responses, 3 of which were for appliance fires inside a building. 1 was a burning fixture on the exterior of the wall of the building. The remainder were alarms that were canceled on as the incident severity and the response was reduced. OEM, I have several things here. The OEM department wants you to know that in light of the recent power outages affecting our region, it's crucial to consider emphasizing the importance of hurricane preparedness. The ongoing hurricane season poses a significant threat, and our community must remain vigilant. We urge all residents to be prepared for power outages. Recent outages have shown the importance of having backup plans in place. Batteries, flashlights, all the essentials. Have an emergency plan. Families should review and practice their plans regularly. This includes know where to go, how to communicate, and what to bring if evacuation becomes necessary. Maintain an emergency kit. Well-stocked emergency kit's essential and should include non-perishables, food-wise, water, medications, first aid supplies, and other critical items for at least a 72-hour span. Stay informed. We encourage everyone to visit ready.gov for comprehensive information on preparedness and to sign up for local alerts and updates. Again, success with the Corn Tomato Beer Fest. This weekend, our community enjoyed the successful Corn Tomato Festival. The event was a tremendous success, largely due to the outstanding coordination between our police, fire, EMS, Office of Emergency Management, and the Community Emergency Response Team, also known as CERN. The collaboration between these agencies ensured the safety and enjoyment of all attendees. The seamless teamwork demonstrated our community's commitment to preparedness and efficient emergency responses. The impact of CERT, it's a special mention here, must be made. There were remarkable efforts made by Flemington and Raritan CERT teams. Their joint efforts were instrumental in managing the event smoothly and safely. These volunteers played a crucial role in crowd management, first aid, and general support, embodying the spirit of community service. And speaking of that, our community continues to benefit from the dedicated efforts of volunteers, particularly those involved with CERT. Those individuals are the backbone of our preparedness efforts, consistently stepping up to support events, emergencies, and public safety initiatives. Their ongoing contributions are invaluable, and we are deeply grateful for their commitment to the Flemington community. I have a meeting Wednesday, August 21st with the First Aid and Rescue Squad. The next fire department meeting is September 10th. And then Councilwoman Englehart's stuff. Let me just get to that. She wants us to know Thursday, August 22nd at 7 p.m. There is at the JP Case Middle School, the board meeting and has been scheduled for that day, that evening, sorry. And then Hunterdon Central High School will have theirs on Monday, August 19th at 6 p.m. And then the last thing regarding Samuel Fleming, Sunflowers in Colonial America, September 14th at 10 a.m. Come learn how these symbols of summer have deep roots in colonial history and the surprising connection to George Washington. This is an outdoor event expected to last about 30 minutes under the tent. Water will be provided. A house tour will be available after the talk. Suggested donation is $5 per attendee. And that is my report.
Thank you.
Wait, what, when is,
September 14th at 10 a.m.
no, August 31st or 30th? For the first one.
22nd,
Oh, wait,
JPK's Board of Ed,
was I wrong? Okay.
August 19th.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
got
it's
that
flipped.
one.
Sorry, it's
Okay.
flipped. Yeah,
Before
before that one is, yeah.
before I move on to other council reports, our auditor is online to talk about the audit this year. I'm sorry, I can't see that far. Who is on? Is it
Warren,
Warren?
I'm making you a panelist.
Yeah, did you have to accept that?
Yep. You want Bill on it too?
Bill's able, I mean, Bill's on vacation, so he's working from home for us tonight.
Okay.
Hello, Warren.
Hi, good evening.
How you doing?
Good, I'm doing fine.
Oh, hold on.
We get that volume up over there.
I thought it was Liz, but I guess it's our TV.
This is so quiet.
Well, Bill Hanson invited me. He said there was questions on the audit. He just made a brief comment as that there was some type of questions.
I
I mean,
don't know if there's any direct questions. We have two brand new council members. So this is
okay,
First audit, so if you could sort of explain, walk them through the highlights and what they really.
okay, no problem. Well, this is the yearly statutory audit by law in the state fiscal affairs law. You have to have a audit yearly by a registered municipal accountant. Okay, and it covers the entire operation of the borough, including the utilities. It includes all the departments that you have. Okay, and we come in there at least 2 or 3 times a year. At the beginning of the year, we come in and we do what's called the annual financial statement. That's just a preliminary financial position that, again, it has to be filed with the state. And that's why you get your budget process starts, okay, from that document. And then once that is developed, then we come in and do the final audit based on those preliminary numbers. All right. The report that you have, if you have a hard copy of the report, there's a audit manual at the Division of Local Government Services developed years ago, and the schedules in there have to emulate what the state wants and report it. Now, the report's pretty thick because there's a lot of support schedules in the back that the state actually wants in here that support the numbers in the front. In the front, there's a lot of summary information, but in the back, it shows you how you got there from the beginning to the end, and it's quite detailed. So, but it does provide you, you know, a stepping stone from where you came from to where you are today. As far as the opinions, in other words, we give an opinion. It's called the clean opinion, and basically what that says is called unmodified. There's no exceptions or subject to qualifications in the reports. The numbers in the audit can all be supported by records in your municipality that have been developed by Bill Hance, your CFO. So anything that we have, it's backed up by the records, and it's done accurately and it's done on time. So anything that Bill's giving you as far as budget reports or financial reports, they do agree back to the records that he's keeping. The report is all, I mean, I said it's very detailed. All I think I said, in other words, one of the schedules you should look at, they usually have a statement of operations in there every year. And you have a couple of different funds. You have your current fund, that's your general operating fund that you develop your budget from. You did make surplus this year. Your surplus at the end of the year is $953,000. It's slightly down from last year. Out of the 953, you're using 300,000 in your current year, the 24 budget. That's the only thing you can use surplus for. It's for cash flow purposes, and it's also for, you know, utilizing in your budget to control, you know, your revenue side of the budget. You do maintain 2 utilities, water and sewer. They're both considered self-liquidating. That means you're collecting enough fees from the operations to support the budget and the operation of those two utilities, and you did make surplus in both of those two utilities. So they're operating with the state requires you to make a calculation whether it's self-liquidating, and they just want to know if you're collecting enough fees to not generate, but to cover your operating costs, which you are. So those are actually being done correctly. In the back of the report, we do have, there is one recommendation this year that we put in. It's a formal recommendation in the back. I'll just read it into the record and what it deals with. It says that a determination be made if certain municipal employees are required to be enrolled in the deferred contribution retirement program. Now, what that program is, not everybody's allowed to be in a public employee retirement system, okay, or the police and fire retirement system. You have to work so many hours. And for employees that don't work the required number of hours for fringe benefits, but they do make more than 5,000 a year, the state developed this, it's like a deferred compensation plan that's administered by them, but it's run by Prudential Life Insurance, and it's a pension plan. It's not as lucrative as PERS because you don't have enough money. I mean, it's not enough contributions, but it's something you have to be in. Okay, and there's no option. There are some employees, I think they're making more than $5 grand. I don't think they were enrolled. I don't know why. I mean, because this plan is only a couple of years old, so you have to determine if they're qualified to be, and it could be number of hours, could be number of income, or it could be some jobs may be exempt from it. So we're just asking to examine that and find out if they should be enrolled, because you don't want someone to come back saying, 5 years from now, I should have enrolled in this plan, and then you may be liable for back contributions. And that's basically it. If you have any questions, I'll take questions on anything that we do or any recommendations.
Bill's already responded to us with that, with your comment. He's made sure everybody who is qualified to be in the deferred comp plan is now in it. So he's already satisfied that. And can you just explain to them, Warren, about the fact that by law, all the council members have to sign a sheet that goes down to Trenton?
It's called a group affidavit. There's in the administrative code, there's a form that you fill out, and it says you have to, in other words, you don't have to really understand the report. I mean, if you do understand, that's fine. If you don't, that's okay too. But they at least want you to read the comment and recommendation section. They don't want you to say that, you never saw something, you didn't understand, or didn't ask questions. So the state asks you to sign this form. It's filed online. The clerk files it down to the Division of Local Government Services, and it just states that you had a copy of the report, you at least read the recommendation and comment sections of the report, and you sign off on it. And that goes down to the division of proof that you actually saw it and you actually received the report that was filed with the borough.
Does anybody have any questions for Warren? It's a lot.
Yeah, and even now, I know I don't know if you had the report for a while. If you have anything, if you're going through it, it's quite extensive. I mean, just, our numbers on the report, so you can call me anytime if you have a question of what goes on or what we do. I mean, I know it might be, a little bit not overwhelming, but there's a lot of information in here. If you don't understand something, don't hesitate to call. I mean, AFS, budget, financial statement, audit, just give us a call. We'll gladly answer your questions.
I have one very small comment,
Go ahead.
if possible. Please send a digital copy of this report. It is 200 pages. It had to be scanned in to be emailed to us.
Yeah, I do. I have a PDF column. I'll send a copy. I'll send it to the clerk. I mean, if you like the PDF, that's no problem.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Warren. Thank you for calling in.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Moving back on to council reports, Council Vice President Rosetti.
Thanks, Mayor. Not much going on here.
Goodbye.
There is no Shade Tree meeting this month, so I just want to make sure everyone realizes that it's not happening this Wednesday, and that's all I got.
Okay, thank you. You reminded me just to let, I know that Beth McManus is still working on that ordinance. She's been cleaning up a lot of stuff for us, so I think that's next on her deck. Okay, Councilwoman Pissarro.
Yes, so I had the opportunity to help set up prior the Beer Corn and Tomato Festival, and I would
Well,
really.
I like your priorities, it's corned beer and tomato, but that's
Corned
okay,
beer and
call it
tomato.
whatever you want.
Beer and tomato, but if you ever get the opportunity to see the guts behind what goes into putting these events on. And being there first thing, it's not glamorous, it's sweaty, it's hard work, but it's actually a lot of fun. To be able to help make this happen on the tail end. I did have a conversation online with Sheriff Brown a few weeks ago. I was one of the victims of this jury duty call that some of the residents in the county and in our borough have been receiving. And he encouraged me to just let people know, my background, I've got a little bit of experience with dealing with fraudsters and post-fraud review. And working with federal law enforcement on things surrounding that. So for our residents, it is 9 times out of 10 jury duty calls like this are trying to either get you out of your house or they're trying to get you your information. They were really pushing hard, even when I told them I'm a councilwoman and I never lived at my house with my maiden name. So they're very aggressive. Call the sheriff's office or the law enforcement office. My concern with calling Sheriff Brown and bringing this up to them is that they were impersonating one of our sheriffs, like an officer of law. So that's why I brought it up to him, but he did encourage me to share that. Next, the library has 2 positions, one part-time, one full-time. If you know somebody who is experienced with that and is looking for a work opportunity, I would encourage them to apply. And then finally, I continue to get feedback from the community on walking and safety and pedestrian safety in particular. And what options and opportunities we can look at as a council, as a community to make it safer on our streets. And that is it.
Thank you, Councilman Parker.
Yeah, just one question. What do you mean by safety on the streets? I'm not sure what I meant.
Literally safety on the streets. So what I'm saying is,
Safety is like safety.
oh, I'm not talking about like criminal, I'm talking about people speeding on Main. I went down to Barclays yesterday.
Okay.
And I literally had someone speed right through our crosswalks. I jumped out.
Yeah.
That's a problem. And you know what? I'm not a youngin' anymore. I can't imagine a little kid trying to jump back. You know, I'm creaky. I've got a lot of aches and pains.
Yeah.
It put me back on my heels.
Well, I am a youngin', but I don't like to do
I know.
that.
I like several ladies, so.
I'm not getting any.
Unless we get away with a lot with the police when I got pulled up.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure I understood that because I know that the, and I'll bring it up later on in our discussion of public safety, but I know the police are actually working on
Right.
several initiatives for speeding. I know one is on Broad Street that they're working on, and they've actually been doing some things, they actually put up signs and things like that. And I do know that they're doing a lot more, walking the beat, so to speak.
Wonderful.
So I think that will kind of dissipate, and I'm pretty much in contact with the chief of police, like, probably a couple of times a week, and that is one of the issues that we bring up.
So as you know, I'm always gonna be protective of Flemington School, our police officers, and thank you. So that's my next concern. What if it's one of them? You know what I mean? So
That's-
anything we can do, like, God forbid, right? I mean. they're
Yeah,
here to-
Well, my street is not them, it's another police department that uses ours.
Yeah,
That's a
exactly,
drive-through.
exactly.
I just
And
don't,
I
I,
speed drive.
if they're walking the beat.
And that
Will the
that
person
becomes
do
the other
something?
issue, right? That becomes the other
But I don't wanna get into a whole.
Yeah,
this is-
but I also-
This is really a council report section.
Yeah,
so.
and I also think that when you get into block cameras, that will help as well. So council report, real quick, there's a couple of things. First of all and foremost, Robin, phenomenal, you know. I think what you guys need to understand, that I don't think anybody understands this, that it's all the things behind the scene leading up to that Corn Tomato Beer Festival. I think this was one of the first years that every department was on the same page. They met, they walked the beat. We had a backup plan in case it was gonna rain. We were on the phone for probably 3 or 4 days. And reached out to every single department to get an agreement on which days would be changed to. It was just flawless. I mean, it was great, and to Robin's credit, you know, I mean, we championed, but to her credit, you know, she just stepped up to the plate and just made it all happen, right? And she took some of the hits and just made it all happen. Nevertheless, it was great. I will say this: people love beer. that line to check ID never stopped for 3.5 hours. I mean, it was 3.5 hours, like, I mean, is there like a break? 3.5 hours, people just going, I've never seen anything like it, it was like, wow, people really want their beer. And this starts at noon, in the heat. But anyway, I will say that, I think, Rob, and we're looking at doing some other things differently next year for, CTV, and I think it'll be great, we're gonna combine it with a couple things. I will also say in terms of the, FCP board. This is probably, and I've been on the board for about 1.5 years, plus, right? This is probably the most cohesive board that I've seen. I mean, we had an amazing meeting with outcomes and people reaching in the same direction. You know, I've always said this: one rope, one direction. Leave all egos at the door, check your egos at the door, and just come in ready to roll up your shirt sleeves to go. I think that having Ally as the president has really changed things. I'm happy to say that George Malone is now in the VP. And I think his addition adds a different perspective. And we're already gonna work on some things with him. He's gonna work on some things that we kind of brought up, and he's gonna delve into them. So it's just great. And we have a new member coming on who actually owns the shopping center where Little Brothers is. I have not met her yet, but she sounds amazing. But I hear probably talk a little bit more about her later. And we'll talk more about her at the next meeting. We were supposed to have the marketing group come today, but it wasn't on the agenda, so I had Robin cancel them out. They will come next week.
Nobody asked me to put it on the agenda.
No, we had it at the last council meeting. I said that the next agenda, you said 20 minutes, and that was on there.
Oh, that
Yes,
was the marketing people?
yes,
Okay,
it
I'm
definitely was. It definitely was. So.
I apologize.
No matter, it's all good, it's all good, we're not doing this, we're not pointing. What I'm saying is that it's fine, because what we'll do is we'll have them come at the next meeting. And in person, and they can actually have some of the colors of the signs and things like that beforehand, so that we can look at them and then we can discuss that. So it all works out, everything works out, let me get upset, it's all
Put
good.
it on there, Carla. Marketing plan, under presentation, 20 minutes.
And then I just wanna, we're gonna talk about public safety at a later date, but I do wanna point out a couple of things that's happened in the police department that I'm just ecstatic about. One of the things that I've always been emphatic about is community policing and inclusion and reaching out to all the communities within the borough. And they actually started by starting, and you're gonna see more of this. There is a momentum going, and there is an actual strategy that's happening, and they're working through it. But that said, here's a couple of things that's already happened. On July 19th, they had a 3-part series of working with United Way. And it was to discuss topics for the Hispanic, reaching out to the Hispanic community. It was topics such as domestic violence, cybercrime, and it was a meet and greet with a K9 unit, just so that people can start getting comfortable with the police and what that really means, right? Because there's this disconnect, we all know that. It's not just here in this community, it's throughout the country. There is an event that's happening on August 18th, and that is a safety night that's going to be held at Hunter Hills, actually in the complex. It's going to be races and games and bike safety. You know, this is something that I was just pushing. So we've got to reach out to this community and get them involved and get them. And so they took it and they ran with it. There's another event that's coming up in October. That's going to be with the Salvation Army. They are working on some other things. The next group of people that that I really want us to reach out to is the LGBTQ community. And getting them more comfortable with police as well in this community. And I'm only addressing this community. I can't address the rest of the world. I can only address this community. And there is another community that I want to focus in on. So the bottom line is that one of the things is that it's all a matter of communication, all a matter of introducing, and all a matter of getting people. The fact that they can feel comfortable saying hi to a police officer and not feel that they are going to be chastised or punished or whatever the case may be.
Can
And understanding the rules. Yes.
your comment about Hunter Hills and the police night and community policing there. Years and years and years ago, Flemington Borough. I'm talking quite a while ago, Flemington Borough had a full neighborhood watch program. I think in all of the apartment complexes, and when that officer, sergeant, whatever he was, retired.
Mhm.
It went by the wayside and nobody has picked that up. And, I think that's worth bringing back is the neighborhood watch program, especially in the apartment complexes.
Okay, so that's something I'll bring up in our next meeting with Chief.
I mean, I don't know if, well. it should be
I would
one
just
day
say
on
this,
site.
they've been receptive of whatever I've asked them to do with this whole community policing.
Mhm.
So I don't think that that's gonna be an issue, I think I'm just very happy that this is happening and that people are starting to walk the beat, and I know it's working because I'm getting shop owners, that are saying, thank you, I'm getting some, residents that are saying, I'm seeing a lot more of the police than I've ever seen before, so it is working, it just takes time, but I think that's a great idea. I would
Yeah, I
definitely
mean,
bring
and
that
there
up.
might be like little neighborhoods. You
I
know,
think it should be
that
throughout the borough.
that would be interested in a neighborhood watch, but I know it was very successful for a really long time in the apartment complexes, and
Okay,
like I said, when that officer retired, it went away.
okay, well, we can make it come back, we can make it come back bigger and better. Okay,
Okay.
that's what I have, thank you so
Thank
much.
you, Councilman Levitt.
Alright, first off, I just wanna start by saying after last meeting, I did in fact install a line. Covering in the borough hall bathroom, Carla saw me do it,
I'm not.
that was number one, that is my largest accomplishment for a month by far.
He sat here at that meeting and said, I am going to get a bath.
Well,
I'm going to buy.
Yes, I did notice it, I didn't know you did that.
Thank you.
That is true community service.
Yes, thank you all.
Love it.
The July HPC meeting is canceled. Next HPC meeting will be on Wednesday, August 21st at 7 PM right here in this room. The planning board and HPC will be having a special joint meeting on Tuesday, August 27th to update the storage district. Details of the proposed expansion are on the borough website, and the purpose of the expansion is to incorporate an additional 35 properties that were developed within the borough's period of significance, which is from 1712 to 1935. And I believe once these changes come to the planning board, they will then come here for approval, and I'm sure we'll all be given a much more thorough breakdown report. But if you do want to see the document likely be sent, it's already on our website. Of course, I have to mention that the incredible success of the Corn Ferry Beer Festival. I mean, I was there all day, and I would like to find out what the official numbers were, but I mean, there must have been thousands of people there all day.
Well, Ross can probably talk to you.
Incredible. And lastly, the rabies clinic will be held November 2nd from 9 AM to 10 PM at the firehouse. More information will be on the borough website.
November 2nd,
November 2nd, yes.
that's great. Thank you. I'm glad we're doing that. Before I forget also, we have a Lindbergh month in Flemington Borough. There are 6 free lectures. The night of the 5th, which is a Thursday, the night of the 6th, which is a Friday, and the afternoon of the 8th. On the Lindbergh's life, and then the kidnapping. Then on, those are free, no reservations required, or at this courthouse. The other 3 lectures are the 27th, which is a Friday night at 7, and the 28th and 29th, is Saturday and Sunday at 2 PM, all at the historic courthouse, all free. No reservations required, those are on, a couple of new books, including, one regarding what happened in Flemington Borough during the trial and how it changed, and the last lecture is, the 12 theories of who actually might have taken the baby if it wasn't Houtman. There's also on the 11th, I'm sorry, on the 21st of September, a walking tour downtown, given by Chris Burkell, called Lindbergh's Flemington, which is who stayed where in town, rain date the following day. That does require a sign up on Humanitix. It is free, but requires a sign up is limited to 20 people. And then on the 18th of September, which is a Wednesday, there is a meetup in front of the Lindbergh exhibit at the New Jersey State Police Museum. Again, that's free. The state police are asking for a sign up so they know how many people are coming. Also in Humanitix. And the meetup is actually at 11 a.m. The museum opens at 9, closes at 3. Must have a photo ID to get in because it is on state police headquarters property. Further information, you can call me, you can call Natalie Zeman, the county, you can call Robin. That is being, and there's also, I should add, that county in conjunction with the speaker, Jim Davidson, who owns one of the largest private collections of Lindbergh memorabilia in the nation. The county and the Historic Society, who have a lot of memorabilia, are going to have a month-long exhibit at the Historic Courthouse in the newly renovated museum spaces downstairs. It's gonna be the largest showing of Lindbergh, like some of them never before seen photographs. The Morbid exhibit that was held 8 years ago was slightly larger, but this is the second largest showing of photographs ever in New Jersey on Lindbergh. So those photographs will definitely be able to, you'll be able to see them before and after all those lectures, so the Saturdays, Sundays, and those evenings. I think they're gonna have it open other times during the month, they just don't know when. So I just wanna say thank you to the freeholders for accommodating all of that and hosting it downtown, and of course, we're encouraging everybody to dine at one of our restaurants in town before or after one of those talks. Okay, so I have public comment session number 1. Robin, try to keep it down. Anybody else who wants to say anything, raise hands. What?
Said I'm tired.
You're so tired, you haven't changed your clothes since I saw you last Saturday.
In case you,
That's because
in
she
case
lost
you
so much
forget the
weight. too.
order, it is, you can look at my shirt. Very quickly, is this working?
Yeah, it should be.
I believe this is the 90th anniversary of the trial, is that right?
No, it was,
It's the 90th
last year?
anniversary of,
I think, no, it's, the trial was actually, I think, in 36. Kidnapping was in 33, 32. Baby the body might have been found now, but
there's
it's all like a
something,
big blur in my head.
but,
That's not why the 300 is putting this on.
okay,
The 300 is just doing because we did all miniseries this year. We did a Civil War miniseries, we did a water miniseries, in Lindbergh, because Jim was publishing a new book, and we wanted it first.
that's great, and I just wanna point out, that this is a sea change in its progress, it's huge, because we are such a historic place and we have very few places that are open to the public. So the courthouse getting its renovation and it was a long process, it was long overdue, but the galleries are gorgeous if you haven't been inside. And it's just really important for a town that is so historic to have buildings and signage and all the appropriate things that tell our story.
So
So,
let me just add that this was Natalie, the exhibits was Natalie's idea. So for the county to propose doing something like this with a historical not-for-profit, 100 and 300, is extraordinary. Because the county's never done outreach like that before. And so
it's a sea change, and it's hopefully just the first of many opportunities for us to be able to do this. And it's really exciting. So I think this is a really exciting time to be a part of the changes in Flemington and the opportunities ahead. And it really falls to all of us to work in partnership with our partners and sort of direct the future of how we want things to be. And to that extent, we have been having many meetings and many conversations about how to bring more events and life to Main Street. You know, Stangl is a model of amazing progress. We called it a arts and cultural district, and it has lived up to that reputation. And I think that all of our growth has has fallen under the plan, you know, and the sort of giving it a name and giving it a shape and wanting it to move in a certain direction and also changing some of the zoning and some of the, which is how you plan and how you get your vision to come into fruition. And also having really cooperative landlords, having tenants who really wanna be there and work with their neighbors. And Stengel is beautiful because it's one block and there's buildings that are all right next to each other, and it just, you know, when they're occupied and everyone's working together, it's awesome. And our Corn, Tomato and Beer Festival has grown because of the participation of their businesses. And I think we did have about 40 Flemington businesses participate more ever from the highway. Like we had both power sports companies, we've had attorneys, National Pool, like, you know, we are reaching all the 3 business areas of Flemington at a festival like the Corn, Tomato and Beer Festival, and that's really a great thing. We also heard that our businesses actually did more business in their businesses than they've ever done before.
Like on
So
Main Street or down Stangle?
mostly on Stangel. But I also haven't had a conversation with the folks on Main Street about, did you have a positive impact? So everyone had a really good day on the block, including the businesses behind the tents. You know, people went inside. We also had great weather. We had incredible planning this year. We had fantastic communication. And we also had those tough conversations that you have to have if you're planning community events about rain date, about flexibility. And I have to thank you, Tony, because you made what were really difficult conversations in the past much easier and got us all to come with our best intentions and stay really mission focused and really be a team. And you cannot plan, you know, it takes a village to make a Corn, Tomato and Beer Festival, and I'm so grateful to have support and to have everybody all in, you know. I mean, it's a great day, but as you said, it's a crazy amount of work, and we could never have enough volunteers. Everybody could attest to volunteering. We could never have enough people. So I was really impressed that we had more than we've ever had before, and I hope we keep going in that direction.
Good job, Robin.
Well, thank you.
Wonderful. Maybe next year we can really push,
Yeah,
help you find more volunteers.
I love
So
it.
if everyone who volunteered brings another person with them,
It's
it'll be even better next year.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
And,
it's
you
fun.
know, the Society of Neighbors have volunteered on a regular weekly, monthly basis. And so I think we're developing a culture. And maybe there was one in the past and it kind of fell off, and COVID changed a lot of things, but I think we can show how much, you know, like the Mark Twain painting the fence, like how much fun it is to do all this work. So right now, we're about to switch gears we have a event on Stangel called the Battle of I-95, and it's being produced by the county, and it is to show that the 2 major media markets, Philadelphia and New York, and their sports radio and their sports fans and the teams kind of runs through Flemington, because you know, we're as much Philly sports oriented as we are New York sports oriented. It depends on who you talk to, but we definitely I'm speaking the truth, okay? But anyway, the concept is, you know, it depends who you ask here. Some people listen to Philly radio and Philly TV, and other people listen to New York and New York TV. So we're having this thing called the Battle of I-95. I heard there will be a goat wearing a Giants shirt and a goat wearing a Eagles shirt, and there'll be a little bit of a race, so.
Yeah.
And when is this?
When is this?
This is this Saturday,
From
What
5 to
time?
seven
from
thirty.
5 till 7.
5 to 7.
And there will be sports broadcasters and former players. And it's gonna be a good time was had by all. We
Anybody
also,
famous?
oh yeah. But you would be asking the wrong executive director. Because one guy's named Hugh
Yes.
Anderson and
Can't remember who they.
Otis Anderson, and I'm sorry. I
No
lived in,
Davis.
if we were talking about Tom
No,
Brady, I
No,
could
they're both
tell you,
retired,
but
they're both retired, one is from New York, and one is from.
Philly, from the Eagles.
Yeah. Yeah, Mark actually reached out today. So there's that.
It's gonna be great.
And I don't know.
Oh, what is that?
That's what she-
Yeah.
Oh, he's all time great.
Yeah. And
Who's Anderson?
Hugh
And my
Hugh
dad.
Grant.
Wait, Grant, you know,
Grant
on
is a
that.
good chat.
Douglas.
Yes, Hugh Douglas,
Those are two all-time greats on both.
right?
Oh, they're great. You got
Yeah,
two
we don't
greats.
mess
Yeah,
around.
yeah. My dad lives on Case Boulevard, Barton Township. He's coming down to see us.
This
So-
is ridiculous. Well, and but this
Telling him
is,
right now, Rob.
but look, we've got the
So we got goats
We got-
battling and two old goats battling.
We have,
We got-
let's go, we have alcohol.
So we do have open container, thank courtesy of our great work together. There is open container on Saturdays in Flemington, so you can get a beer, you can get a cocktail.
What do they, what's the activity?
There are trivia contests.
Okay,
There's a burger battle
okay.
that with local farm fresh products.
Okay.
There's this goat race. There's actually a really cool video truck that will be playing Mad Den football games. So bring your kids.
Yeah, there's supposed to have kids games too,
Yeah,
yes.
it's really, it's
Is
like
that goat kids or just little kids?
No.
real
There was
kids.
the goat race. I missed
Real
there for the
kids.
goat race on
Depending on the day.
Okay.
I think you should all come. So it's on Stengel
No,
Road
it's coming
this
Saturday.
Saturday,
It's Saturday.
this Saturday. So this
Okay.
Saturday,
Yeah.
just so everybody gets the full concept, we have the Stengel Farmers Market from 9 till 3. We have the new regular Moon Market, which is every other month, I believe, and that is 3 to 8. And then this special event is closing Stengel just in front of the brewery and the distillery for 2 hours for this battle of I-95 with the county.
Okey dokey.
That's it. Then it's
And
Halloween.
then Sip and
Get
Stroll is
ready.
the following Thursday after that.
Yes, Sip and Strolls this
Do we have
Thursday.
this coming Thursday, like in 2 days?
It's this coming Thursday.
Yes, and what's the theme?
Hot to go.
Okay. Thanks, Robin. I'm hot for you to go now.
Mic drop moment.
Thank you so, yeah, right, thank you so much.
By the way, Rob, you look great, keep up the good work.
Yes,
Good
that's-
for you.
It's all the right.
Anybody else from the public? Need your name and address for the record.
I'm Jay Hoff, need my exact address or phone number.
Just to claim your gross.
Flemington Borough resident. First of all, congratulations to the borough on another successful corn beer and tomato festival. I enjoyed myself as well. It was great to see everyone out and it looked like there was even more vendors than last year. It was also great to see people slowing down on Main Street. Again, I'm not the first person to come to talk about walkability. I think it's something that's on a lot of people's mind in Flemington and nationally. I think there's a lot of conversations about small towns and being able to safely walk around. Pedestrians, I think it's great that we're having those conversations, but I would like to know what council is gonna do in terms of concrete steps to make our roads more safe for pedestrians, especially as we come upon the new school year. We have a lot of walkers. There's a lot on Main Street. I can tell you from personal experience on Main and Main Street that, again, people really do not take into account the crosswalks. I am hard to miss, and yet I've almost been run over on Main Street a number of times. People just don't slow down, don't care to. I think there's a number of ways that can be addressed. It's great to hear about policing initiatives, that's important. But what are some physical ways that we can make the road safer?
even a new coat of paint. The two crosswalks on Wine Street that are near Stanwell and then down farther by St. Magdalene's, they're not very visible, to be honest. There's not great signage, there's not great paint, things like that. They're just small changes. Also, I'm sure there's grants available. That does take a good amount of grunt work, but I think that there's also, again, community members who would be willing to take some of that on, to do the research, to write grants, to get us money, to make physical changes to our streets, to make them safer and to prioritize pedestrians. I think that, you know, as council, we are asking you to step up on this issue, but that you could ask us as a community to step up with you and to put in some of the work to make that happen. Because I think this is an issue that a lot of people really do care about.
Can I just suggest some of that for you? So in 2022, when I was doing doors, I mean, zigzagging across Main Street is lethal. I mean, it is extremely dangerous, especially during rush hour. The traffic that heads west is unbelievable, and they're not our people. I've had personally a number of conversations with the chief about, you know, more visibility of cops out there. He has had the sign, you know, with the your speed limit on it. I have seen more cops sitting there, the last couple months. We have a grant right now from the DOT that we will be doing that road from this, our border, which is the bridge, down to, oh, gee whiz, I wanna say Academy. It's not the whole, it's like the first half of the road. You know, I would love to tell you that it's gonna help. It's gonna make speeding easier because it's gonna eliminate all the potholes. But all of that curbing will be new, the sidewalks will be new, I believe. But, you know, all the paint will be new. I just made a note about the crosswalks being faded. We have a DPW meeting tomorrow. Councilman Parker, Councilwoman Fasaro, and I are on the DPW subcommittee. So I'm gonna see if we can get out and paint that. When you said concrete steps, to what are you referring to? You said something about concrete steps in the beginning.
Taking concrete steps.
Oh, taking concrete steps. I'm like, where is concrete steps out here?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, my head is in like totally different place than what you meant. Okay, never mind.
Yeah, so Trent, I think maybe you and I can weigh in here because we did do a little walking together and we're both, I'm very focused on sidewalks, expanding them out. We've always gotten pushback on speed bumps or speed tables or something different. But I still also want to give the police department the opportunity to manage and control the traffic. Unfortunately, we have a lot of people that drive through, they don't live here. And if you live here, you drive slow because you're my neighbor, right? We're gonna slow down. I don't know how you address those drive-through.
We just have to have police out there.
Yeah.
We need a strong police presence.
No,
Yeah.
I mean, that can't like permanently fix it. Like
Yeah.
they cannot be everywhere. There's many studies that show that, you know, increased police presence in a certain place, you know, if somebody already knows or they travel through the area often. It does show like a slight effect for a number of months, maybe, decreasing speeding, but like it's not a permanent solution of this kind of thing.
Band-Aid.
The only thing that we can do really is actually design our roads slightly better. Like, if you look at the difference between Bunnell Street and Mine Street, they're two very, you know, Bunnell Street, it's almost uncomfortable to drive over 15, 20 miles an hour on there because it's so narrow. You have the bump outs for the crosswalks, making them more visible, can't have cars parked in front of them. It's like like the road itself has to
Well,
be,
But now it allows parking on both sides of the street.
That too.
Mine only allows parking on one side of the street.
parking, on-street parking can effectively narrow the street in such a way that it does, you know, decrease the speed that it is comfortable for people to drive.
Just because it's so narrow.
You know, putting a permanent cop on, you know, Mine Street, sure, I mean, if you've ever driven on, I've been driving through Hillsborough for work recently, and there's this one house that just has two old police vehicles in front of it, and I've fallen for that trick for years. Turns out they're not real. But
Until they are,
um,
until they are.
but you know, like I have yet to find a way to try and get this to actually happen. The other thing is just it's cost. I mean, there's a lot of wants and needs in towns. I reached out to, I talked to somebody from the DOT about getting those rapid rectangular flashing beacons installed for, the circle, right? If you've never crossed there, obviously, it's not a fun time. I did it once last year and decided I would never do it again. But people have to do it every single day for work. And they told me, I don't know if it was for a pair or just one, $50,000 per light. And I mean, that's insane. I have no idea why. I did not inquire any further than that, but you know, it's tough. I would definitely like to see, I think it's this year, but hopefully the Safe Streets for All grant is still working next year. And I'm hoping that we can maybe instruct our engineer or somebody to help apply for something from that.
We'll bring it up tomorrow, Jen,
Yeah.
and talk about it at the meeting, and then Thursday, there's a parking committee meeting, so I can bring it back up there too, because our traffic consultants there. You know.
Real quick.
And Trent, you and I can sit down, I mean, I know we're one mind and maybe come to the table here with some of the ideas that we've discussed. I'm the lone caballero who truly believes in speed tables, because I see how they work 90 minutes a day. And it's different than a bump, and they are manageable by.
DPW,
It will-
vociferously opposes it, because it
The speed
destroys.
tables, which are then flat on top, and then you use the top as a crosswalk block. They're literally right in front of the fire department, and I will take pictures and send to you guys.
Yeah.
So it's not a speed bump, it's a speed table.
We got a lot, they got those in cities too.
And it's, I don't know, again, maybe that's something, Trent, you and I look at, what is the actual cost of it? Okay. Okay, I can do that because it's different. Speed bumps, I'm from the Great Lakes, Western New York, Rochester, and Buffalo. I know how dangerous speed bumps can be for drivers when it's torrentially icy.
And people-
Come over them and go that
People
way.
want them, and then they get them, and then all they
Yeah.
hear all night and all day, boom, 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 and then they complain about it, so it's. What else do you, I'm sorry.
So I'm gonna steal some more of your time, I'm sorry.
This is
But
good discussion.
yeah, thanks. And incidentally, this is my podcast, so I listen to the podcast daily. I listened to one today about traffic. I mean, literally about what we're listening to here, so. But another thing that helps with traffic in Flemington particularly, you saw it at Corn Tomato Beer, people, it's people. You know, the more people milling about, walk around, some of us remember way back.
You go down the street during the car shows on Main Street. It's really, you feel the difference.
No,
you know,
yeah.
like when it was all.
Yeah,
cars lined there,
House
people
tours.
crossing,
House
they
tours, yeah,
crossing,
absolutely, 100%.
crossing.
Of course, yeah.
So people walking, shopping, living.
I think I had to flag one person down on Broad during the house tour. Because I left my house side doors on Broad, and I'm always telling people.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of different solutions to consider, and not all of them are gonna be the right thing for the borough, but getting all the different people who are potentially involved at a table and to talk about what would be a good fit. I mean, something come to fruition to change the trends that seem to be skating all over the place. But another community initiative I just want to bring to council's attention, this came out of Society of Neighbors, which is a Facebook group that's just built around the idea of getting together with all the people who live around here, talking to one another and doing small community service projects. I made it a personal project of my own to keep an eye on the free little pantry that is outside of Flemington DIY on Stangle. And it has been very heavily used, all the time that I've been washing it for the past couple of months. And there's also 6 different pantries in Borough. Number 1 being outside of the actual food pantry, technically that's Raritan, but we're gonna count it. There's also one outside of the Salvation Army. There's one outside of a private residence on New Jersey Avenue. Another one outside the Presbyterian Church on Main Street. The DIY pantry, and one that is outside of Echelon Studio on Fulmer Road. Again, these pantries are very heavily used by our community, and there are small groups of people and individuals that are donating to them, who are trying to keep them stocked, but it is obvious that they are more used than they are donated to. So I saw this need and asked myself what I was gonna do about it. So I came up with a proposal to work with Flemington DIY to do a monthly food drive where once a month we collect donations, we sort them out into bins, and we have volunteers be responsible for stocking an assigned pantry during that month with whatever donations are gathered. and continually trying to keep an eye on them and keep them better stocked to serve community members who are needy and food insecure. So I just wanted to bring that to council's attention, if you are interested in collaborating on this, we'd like to have as many people, organizations involved as possible.
Is there, Carla, is there a place in Borough Hall we could put a collection box that would be out of the way? Small one? You're welcome.
Do you wanna,
And if you could maybe,
do you have a list of what you're really looking for?
that's what I was gonna ask.
Yeah.
It's usually pasta and canned goods, right?
There's a lot of canned goods, we do also, especially at the one at DIY, have a lot of unhoused people who, they don't have an ability to.
Unhoused.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Who don't have the ability to cook, so things that are just ready to eat foods are great as well. I also, sat down with a volunteer at the food pantry, and a group that is currently restocking the pantry that's outside of the actual food pantry. To talk about what the exact needs are, and I have to go through their spreadsheet and see what the most needed items are based on what they found, over the years that they've been stocking. To try to get a little bit more of
Well,
an idea of
if you
what
wanna
people
get
are
like
needing.
something to Carla, we'll find a place, she'll find a place.
I
for
have
box.
that list on my phone, I'll show you when you come in. I did it around Thanksgiving and gave it to the food pantry, but it's like 28 days of buying different things every day. It was really nice.
Oh, that's nice. Every day you buy something else. to put in the box.
In box, and then when I collected it all, I gave it to the food pantry. I think I still have it on my phone.
Thank you, Jay. Really appreciate it. Anybody else from the public, any with their hands up? Not, let's move on. Carla, ever get distributed these minutes?
Yep.
Okay, I have a motion to approve the regular session June 10, 2024 minutes.
Don't move.
For a second,
Second.
all in favor?
Right.
Roll call, I'm sorry,
Nope.
could I have a motion to approve the executive session June 10, 2024 minutes?
Don't move.
Is there a second?
Parker second.
Roll call, sorry, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, could I have a motion to approve the regular session June 24th, 2024?
Don't move.
A second,
Pissarro second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. And can I have a motion to approve the executive session of 2024-24?
Don't move.
For a second,
Parker second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Great. Great, thank you. Consent agenda, we have resolution 2024-112, resolution authorizing the release of the remaining balance of $904 in the developer's escrow account for 66 Catamount LLC held in trust by the Borough of Flemington. Number 2, resolution 2024-113, resolution authorizing a contract with RNS Landscape to abate public safety hazards at 11 East Main Street, Block 5, Lot 1, and authorizing the tax collector to lien the property. Number 3, resolution 2024-114, resolution authorizing a contract with RNS Landscape to abate public safety hazards at 309 Highway 202, Block 44, Lot 7, and authorizing the tax collector to lien that property. Number 4, resolution 2024-115, resolution authorizing a contract with RNS Landscape to abate public safety hazards at 307 Highway 202, Block 44, Lot 6, and authorizing the tax collector to lien that property. Number 5, resolution 2024-116, resolution authorizing the donation of a surplus security safe to the township of Raritan. Number 6, resolution 2024-117, resolution authorizing the Borough of Flemington to conduct an electronic tax sale prior to December 31st, 2024, and to charge mailing fees associated with the tax sale. And number 7, resolution 2024-118, resolution approving the 2023 audit. Does anybody want a separate vote on any of these items?
Yeah, because I have a couple questions. Items 2, 3, and 4.
Okay.
My first question.
No, that's for something, sorry. Okay, can I have a motion to approve resolutions item number 1, 5, 6, and 7? Is there a second?
Sarah.
Roll call, please.
Levitt was first. Wow, you guys threw me off. Okay, Councilwoman Fasara,
Yes.
Councilman Levitt,
Yes.
Council President Long,
Yes.
and Councilman Parker,
Yes.
and Council Vice President Rossetti.
Okay,
Yes.
can I have, these all together?
Yeah.
Can I have a motion to approve resolutions 2024-113, 114, and 115, items number 2, 3, and 4? Is there a second?
Parker second.
Discussion.
So my questions, were the authorizing a contract with RNS Landscape, is that authorizing something expense related?
Yes, so these properties are in complete disrepair, overgrown, they have been put under summons by our property maintenance officer. Nothing has been happening, they either, you know, get the courts to adjourn or wait. This has been going on, it's now dangerous, at least one of these properties, the post office has now refused to go to at all. And it become, these properties are all either completely unsightly or actually dangerous to walk in front of. So this is coming from our property maintenance officer. So this resolution authorizes the RS Landscaping, who we use to clean up properties under our health code, which is under state law. We can do this. We have the ordinance in place. So they'll go out and they will do the minimum necessary to make these safe, cleaned up, and attractive. And then the cost of those expenses are then leaned against the property, just like taxes.
So I guess the question, like, we can do that in a consent agenda.
Absolutely,
Yes,
absolutely.
Alright,
But you need we need a roll call vote because it's been.
understood, alright, and
it's
then,
under consent because we always do it. It's not something new that we have to talk about.
Yeah, this will be going on for,
Yeah.
at least 10 years.
I guess, yeah, that was the other.
We did one in
the
February.
Process,
Yeah.
Yeah,
the process, like, just so I know, these people are noticed, property owners.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
oh, I think
these
Dave
notice
caught
numbers
on.
should be there.
noticed and noticed and noticed and summoned and.
They're still just not doing it.
And they know this,
They're all
they
fine,
know this is stuff.
they actually know this.
Usually they're paying for it.
Okay.
I don't know about these.
No,
Jeremy, I've lived across from one where the lawn would be this high, and it's absolutely dispiriting.
The eternal struggle.
And
And I can tell you, one of these three is the not living wall,
I just was,
because the owner promised and promised and promised he was gonna clean it up. And he had enough, because he didn't. So,
It is.
I just wanna know if it was all,
oh yeah,
Push it forward.
oh yeah,
alright,
right, any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Oh, sorry, Councilwoman Fasara,
Yes.
Councilman Levitt,
Yes.
Council President Long,
yes.
Councilman Parker.
Yes.
And Council Vice President Rosetti.
Yes,
Thank you. We have no ordinances being introduced tonight. Public hearing ordinance 2024-18, an ordinance replacing the land use submission checklist. This was introduced at our last meeting. It went to the planning board that concurred that it was in compliance with the master plan. And they sent it back with a double thumbs up, which is good since they wrote it. So the public hearing is, can I have a motion to open up a hearing to the public?
Long move,
Is there a second?
Sorry, second.
All in favor?
alright,
The public hearing is now open for anybody who has any comments on this ordinance. Again, this ordinance creates a checklist and replaces the old checklist. This is way more comprehensive for the planning board's use. Can I have a motion to close the public hearing?
long move,
Is there a second?
Sorry, second.
All in favor?
aye,
You, can I have a motion to adopt ordinance 2024-18?
long move,
Is there a second?
Okay, so.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Fasara,
Yes.
Councilman Levitt,
Yes.
Council President Long,
yes.
Councilman Parker,
Yes.
and Council Vice President Rosetti.
yes,
Thank you. Regular agenda, resolution 2024-119. Resolution approving the hiring of Ronald Sis as a crossing guard in the borough of Flemington. This is a replacement, not an addition. We had a retirement. Can I have a motion to approve?
Parker.
Is there a second?
Long second,
Any discussion? Roll call?
Councilwoman Fasara,
Yes.
Councilwoman Levitt,
Yes.
Council President Long,
yes.
Councilman Parker,
Yes.
Council Vice President Rosetti.
yes,
Resolution 2024-120, authorizing a shared service agreement with Flemington Regional School District for school class 3 law enforcement officers. Again, we do this every year.
There we have, you see the new version of which your Carl.
Oh,
has
was it-
circulated.
With this, the increase in salary.
Yeah, Bill Hans was kind enough to give you those numbers.
Yeah,
this
so
morning.
there was, in the budget this year, you may recall, we did give our class 3 police officer an increase, because Raritan Township, he was behind Raritan Townships, with Raritan Township pays the class 3. That amount is passed on to the school, so.
And there's consistent payment across. Flemington, Raritan Township, and Fleming Borough pay those class fees the same.
I'm not positive about that,
Okay.
but he had not had a raise in at least 4 years.
Okay,
So,
Approving the agreement that I sent at 11:20 this
Yes,
morning, right? Okay,
yes.
just making sure, the new number is 61,000, to 15,250 a quarter.
Right.
That's the lands when it was on.
yes, and like I said, the school does reimburse us for that.
Yeah.
Okay, can I have a motion to approve? Sarah, is there a second?
long section.
Any other discussion? Roll call?
Councilwoman Fasara,
Yes.
Councilman Levitt,
Yes.
Council President Long,
Yes.
Councilman Parker,
Yes.
and Council Vice President Rossetti.
Okay, so we're on the work session, continuing discussion on these two banners, temporary signs. We're gonna limit this discussion to 30 minutes, tonight. And we'll continue it until we get it right? And see, or at least we get it to a point where I can't get a consensus on some point, and then we'll just do what we need to do with what we got. So, you know, I'm not gonna destroy the good for the perfect, so, if we can take up the temporary signage one. I think there was some kind of consensus on the first point, the first 3 points. Point number one, events requiring an event permit, both not-for-profit and for-profit. We get up to 15 temporary signs included with any event permit. So if somebody's paying for an event permit, they get free signage. Signs are allowed to be placed out 14 days prior to the event, and must be picked up within 3 days of the event's end. Everybody good with that point?
Just wanted to ask, I know someone came up to comment last time we were discussing this, a business owner, and suggested maybe 30 days prior to the event. Is that something we might want to consider?
But that was a private business event, not an event permit. That's different.
Okay,
But then we did get a written comment from somebody else who said,
That
totally disagreed.
Yeah, and from
So-
a business owner, actually.
Yeah, we totally disagreed. That was way too long.
Yeah,
So are we okay with this? These are events, private, not-for-profit. This would be like salsa festival, this would be like corn to beer tomato, this would be like, I don't know, what else? Jazz fest. Okay, so it sounds like we have the consensus on that. Point two, events not requiring an event permit such as grand openings, special sales, etc. For-profit entities, there would be a $50 fee. Not-for-profit entities, a $25 fee. No fee will be. I think that's change is supposed to be charged, sorry, typo. No fee will be charged if signs are only located on private property. A maximum of 10 signs for an event or business grand opening. Signs are allowed to be placed out 14 days prior to the event, must be picked up within 3 days of the event's end.
Can you give me an example of what?
So Sage has a sale.
they have a trunk sale once a year.
Yeah, Sage has a trunk sale. They always put a sign out on their own property. Sometimes they put them around town.
Mhm.
If they put them up in Raritan Township, we don't care. They put them up in Flemington, we care.
But they weren't allowed to put them up. That's the point. In certain
Right.
parts of
This would allow them to put them up in,
in their own backyard.
right,
And they would
Or-
pay $50, let's say it was a.
yeah, they're for profit, so they would pay $50 to go off their own property into other areas. T-Berry's grand opening, whenever they get back up, hopefully soon. They wanna do a grand opening, they wanna plunk some signs around town, again, same thing, be $50. They keep it on their own property, there would be no charge.
But just even an annual celebration like, Cinco de Mayo, something like that.
But would that be an event?
Yeah, that's.
Well, do you make that?
Oh, you meant like a party.
That's an event.
So, are we good with that?
I think it's good.
Everybody's good with all these first points, okay, next one, private residential property. $50 permit fee for any sign advertising a business or contractor services. With the maximum allowed time of 14 days. I will tell you, this is the thing, one of the things that triggered. Our zoning officer and property maintenance officer to ask us to address. Was both the fact that people had to pay $50 a sign, which was United Way. So that was the first trigger, and then my conversation with both our zoning officer and our property maintenance official, they really harped on these contractors who have business signs on lawns. So are you all okay with this? So this is Joe Smith is doing Liz Rossetti's roof, or Trent Levitt is painting Tony Parker's house. And if there's gonna be a sign out there, I just plugged you, that was free advertising 2 times. So, are you all okay with this?
I'm just curious, I know Chris, you did some work on this, the other towns. Was this something that's done elsewhere around us?
This is the private residential property one.
Yeah, for commercial signs, not for the kids' graduation or if the festival at their church. This
They
is,
were typically on exemption list, as I recall.
Yeah, I thought they were kind of like,
These are like trend signs, right?
Yeah.
You just said what you.
Yeah.
For trend,
and they were,
But they were
and
just limited, yeah.
It was limited how many days they could keep it up.
days and geometry. But as I reviewed it, most towns have an exemption list, and that type of town is just relaying you what I observed.
okay,
Oh,
so
That's, for me personally, that's where I pause on that.
is the fee.
The fee for out-of-town businesses coming in, plunking their signs down for a few days after the project's done. Going through that extra step of having to step in here and get a permit.
But sometimes it's not, I mean, I can think of a house, I'm not gonna name names, there was a house that had a contractor sign on it for almost 3 months this year. You know, that's a really long time.
Well, I get, yeah, that, I
Put the
think
time
that's true.
limit.
Can we do that? Like,
I thought that's what most of the towns did, is they had a town.
So
they
we
had
could
a
do,
limit.
yeah, the question was about the fee.
Yeah.
We would put a. So long as such sign is removed. in X days, seems like 14 is reasonable.
You wanna do
Yeah.
14 days, no fee?
It says 14
What if we ask
questions.
for-
14
What is
days
it?
after the project was done.
What if
That's
we ask
what
for
it
a
said.
deposit and you get it back when you remove it?
So,
well,
as I know in my memo, I think that, you know, at the end of the
Sorry.
I think that the key thing for the council to think about is enforceability, which is always the hallmark of this, right? Will you be able to enforce it? Will you be able to collect? Will you be able to police it? Will you be able to enforce it consistently, right? From one resident to another. I don't know,
Is
you know,
is
it's
the onus
easier
on the
to-
resident or the business?
What's that? Something?
The resident, is the onus on the resident or the business? The onus is on the business.
I'll be on business, I think.
Right,
Right.
I hear what you're
Yeah.
saying, but if it's on my property and I don't call them and say, gotta get this off here, or I don't take it off. Then who's enforcing it to get it off? Does it become
Yeah,
the
I
property
think
owner's
your point is
responsibility?
exactly right.
I mean, it
Councilman.
sounds like we
It's-
just put liens on properties, not the businesses underlying that.
Well, see, the business wouldn't even be in the town.
Right.
So you're gonna send your guy to.
And we're gonna have to track
It
them
becomes, enforceability is so critical.
yeah, if I hired a guy from Parsippany to do my roof, he's like, yeah, I'll take it down when I'm in
Yeah,
town.
you're not gonna, the first time you take out a resident. First time that resident
I
will
mean,
be here.
What about if we just had something where they could leave a sign up advertising while they're actively working? Like while they're doing the roof, in case I want to know who my neighbor used because I want to see if the roof is good after. I like sometimes seeing who's working around town, but then like as soon as the work is wrapped up, they have to take their sign with them. So then it's like enforceable. If there's no active work going on, it shouldn't be there.
I think that's what, isn't that what one of the ordinances said?
One of them said.
They said that as long as you're doing the work, but you have like 14 days after the work was done to take it down.
But Liz is
But
saying.
to your
no,
point,
well,
if you just do, no, but Liz has a really good point,
Liz
so
says it too.
the point of it is that they just. It's allowed up while you're doing the work, once you're finished the work, you get out and you take the sign with you.
Then I
Because
think-
it's true. Who's gonna sit there and count? Well, they finished work on the 10th and has how many days has it been? And you don't know, so at least you know they're working or they're not, and then it's up or down.
I agree
So
with
we're
Liz.
gonna say on this one, there seems to be a concurrence, no fee. For any sign advertising a business or contractor service with a maximum amount of time of while active work is occurring,
While the work is occurring.
period.
Well,
And
again,
then the homeowner could pull it, cause they're always a little,
so we
because
say.
it's a wooden sign like a real estate agent, some of them use like little ones, but those ones that go in the ground.
Yeah.
Those are considered permanent signs in the borough under our ordinance planning board, so.
The reality is,
You're not
no,
allowed.
no one's keeping exact track of day to day, right? But if you get the first week, second week, third week, and you see a sign still up there that you get a complaint on, someone can go knock on the door, right?
Right,
It's simple too, if we have an ordinance, you can't put signs up on a telephone poles. Just can't do it,
right, right,
and we had a company that was putting them up.
Yep.
And simply, you call the number, say, hey, you gotta get your stuff down, right? This is the same issue, probably maintenance guy just drives by, see all this roofing company's got this stuff, just going, sorry, let me give them a call, hey, your sign's in here too long, alright.
or the homeowner can just take it down,
Yeah.
because they're
I
like,
think
little-
the most likely scenario
Yeah, I
It's self
think,
releases,
I
right?
just think it's a matter of educating the public. that
take
Signs can be out as long as the work is being done.
So I just wanna make sure that.
But I actually think Liz has the best solution, and that is that when they come into your house, they put the sign on, can I put a sign up? Because they ask typically, yes, but the day you're done, you need to take the sign with you.
Carla, is that something that, we could do as a little handout that Maureen, when somebody comes in for a permit? They get, you know, if you put up the sign or your contractor puts a sign, it must be gone when they're finished with work.
I'll
Just-
talk to her tomorrow.
I just have her put it on the permit itself or hand them a piece of paper that says so.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, well, we don't have an ordinance saying that yet, but thank you, Liz. But just, yeah, we'll get that in, okay. So those seem like there's a concurrence. So moving on to the greater discussion ones. Private property, both residential and businesses, no permit fee required. Any sign displaying an event with a date certain, so festivals, 4-H fair, elections, must be removed within 3 days of the event. Do you wanna limit? Oh, I think there was a concurrence to that. Do we wanna limit how long they can be up prior to that date certain? So example is Immaculate Conception Church has a big festival every year. And they end up, like, a lot of members' lawns have them up. You know, the 4-H fair is coming now, there's those signs are around private property around the county. So do we want to limit how long they can be up prior?
Is this for private property again as well? Or?
This is for both, yes, it's private property. But these are things that have dates certain, and do we want to see the 4-H fair signs up there in October? 'Cause that's what messes up a town.
I mean, for like having those kinds of giving, you know, permit for them, like we have for the other ones, like not necessarily on private property. Yeah, sure. I mean, take them down once
Okay,
the event happens.
all right, so they get 3 days to take it down, so the fair ends the 26th of August, so they have to come down the 28th. How long, like, if they make the signs a month before the fair, or we know an election is November 4th, do we wanna limit how many weeks before that event or the election?
No,
Not
I
for
mean,
election.
just for like, honestly, for me, for like any private property, I don't care if it's contractor, I don't care what it might be. If you have a sign in front of your house, it's your house, you're free to keep as many dumb signs in your phone as you want to.
I'm not. on
Like,
board
I
with that.
just don't, I have no desire to regulate. their-
I am not on board with that, because it does junk up the town.
Well, when it
does
comes
junk.
to,
If I live next door to someone who has a bunch of signs, I have to tell you, I'd be pissed off, I really would. And especially if I were gonna be selling my house and there's a bunch of signs, that dictates who's living next door to you. So it's not that black and white. I think that there has to be a compromise in saying that if you have all these signs in your yard, it's just not acceptable. If I have the 4-H fair sign in my yard 3 months after the 4-H fair, why?
No, I think there's an agreement, I think the date certain have to come down 3 days
Right.
after the date, but how long do you want that 4-H fair
Yeah,
time on your lawn, the lawn next to you?
I think something like a fair, specifically talk about fairs, like
Even
big
the
festivals,
festival,
I
I
mean,
think it's like
the
30 days.
church.
I think, yeah, a month is completely fair, and it gives time to plan. I've been seeing it, you know, like
30 days?
Robin, Robin's right here, Robin, when did you put up the signs for Corn Tomato Vehicles?
Because we follow the rules and we thought the rule
Okay.
was, no, literally, we thought it was 2 weeks.
That's what the rule,
We
that's what's
also
in our
thought
ordinance.
it might be 10 days, not exactly 2 weeks. So we thought signs were only allowed to be out for 10 days and we normally pick them up. Like all of our corn tomato.
They're down, they were down
signs,
today,
yeah.
so
So we picked them up within like 1 or 2 days.
So you could have chosen how long ago you put up signs though.
Well, so first of all, I gotta tell you, the lawn sign, we try to make them pretty. We have pretty ones and we have readable ones. But they really work. Unfortunately, in this community, the lawn sign is a really effective vehicle to let people know when things are coming. So let's take Sip and Stroll as an example. That's the 3rd Thursday of every month. You know, and there are times where we saw a magic show, you know, bookstore, like you could have 6 signs for events. I think the bigger issue is if you have a lot, if you're gonna have a really busy September, October, could some corner have 10 signs? That would be very
So
unacceptable.
can I just say,
Yeah.
we spent a lot of time this spring arguing and debating over the permit, the whole permit process, and we put a new ordinance in place. And which put into place that all these festivals and events couldn't put up signs more than 2 weeks before an event. So if it's 2 weeks for a big festival, that's the benefit of
I
Flemington.
think it's.
Then why are we gonna do 2 weeks or 30 days for the 4-H fair, which is in Ringo's? Or Immaculate Conception Festival, which is in Annandale?
I think,
I think we need to be consistent, and we had a
We
huge,
go in
you know.
2 weeks, but I am telling you, for the third Thursday, which is a sip and stroll on Stangle, we put those out like 2 or 3 days in advance because it's every third.
Yeah, it's a lot.
So you wanted, people will think it's an old sign if you don't take them down and put it up again.
And I also think it's unfortunate because that one's gonna be out, you know, we put them out, we take them back. You know, there's town pride and event producer responsibility and business owner responsibility. Those 3 things go hand in hand. If you're going to keep your signs out, break rules, you know, it's really problematic and it's the bad apple that causes problems for somebody like us who's doing umbrella events for the greater good, for the greater business community. You know what I mean? We don't want this town to be overrun with signs. But they are effective. I think
So
2
if you
weeks
had a
is-
banner,
Yeah. A
as
banner
opposed to a
system would
sign.
help.
wouldn't that be more effective? Because as I'm writing down, I see, you know, a banner is a call to action.
My feeling is a town isn't a town without a Main Street banner somewhere, you know, all the active towns, which also helps with your walkability and your everything, you know. Main Street's gonna feel a little less fun to speed down when there's banners and there are other things that are
Yes.
clarion calls for this is the place, people live here, there's activity.
Okay, so can I get a consensus on this private property, both residential businesses? No permit fee, sign displaying an event with a date certain must be removed within 3 days of the event's end. Are we gonna stick to the 2 weeks, because that's what we have in the event permits?
I say for consistency, 2 weeks.
I think we should do it for 2 weeks, yeah.
2 weeks, I'm sorry, what's up?
Alright,
But
What do you
so
want to do?
I have a question for election law, is it?
I took elections out,
Yeah.
Okay, because that's,
I took elections out, she objected,
yeah, that's
Like-
different.
okay, so 2 weeks, prior, okay. And then, the next one, other temporary signs on private property for consideration. We wanna do something with these graduation college signs, causes 30 days, 90 days, 6 months. Or,
I think that's a-
I-
I
yeah.
think that's a bigger total.
we're gonna revisit
wanna
this
talk-
some other time after
I-
Pat Rinaldi complains again.
I don't know if we should.
And-
I mean, look, I get emails, phone calls about noise, annoying
Yeah.
things happening in town, you know, every kind of complaint you can get, there's an email, there's a person telling me, there's calling me, they're pulling up to me.
Never complain about it.
I've never got a single
Okay.
complaint about that.
Other than Dave Julian and Pat Rinaldi, okay. Campaign signs, like the campaign signs, are we gonna limit these at all? Cause some municipalities do. They say you can't have it up more than X number of days before an election.
No.
No, not at all?
Unless we're gonna also limit flags and banners and everything
Well,
else.
I think for election law, you gotta take them down within,
Yeah.
I think 5 to
Yeah.
7 days,
So that's down, but how
Yes.
long
Like
before?
talking about putting them up.
like a week.
Like I said, no
I say every
candidates,
day.
10 days.
as far as I've seen, no candidates in this town have had any problem. It's all the outside candidates that leave their signs around here that are really heavy.
Yeah,
No, but putting
I've
them up.
noticed that.
But what about putting them up?
Putting them up, not taking.
It's not about taking them right, what about putting them up? no restriction, they can go up months earlier.
No,
So if somebody
I
puts it up
think-
before a primary, they just leave them up and they say, well, so I'm still running in the general.
It's illegal for them to be in public right away, right? They can't put that,
You're not supposed to.
they're not supposed to,
Mhm.
that's fine, that's how it is now, keep it like that, private property. Leave your sign there as long as you want.
I have a question. So I agree. I think leave it on private property duration wise, but is there any way we can regulate like content of some of these signs? I haven't really seen it in the borough, but I'm just kind of thinking of heads to things that might pop up. Like I have seen it in other municipalities with like expletive words on signs, you know, for candidates. I don't care which side of the aisle you're on, but like my kids shouldn't have to read
I
those
was,
curse words.
my review, I had this issue in Bridgewater, and I think I mentioned this two meetings ago with a very obnoxious obscene sign. A very prominent right away, and I was shocked when I reviewed the other ordinances that I provided the governing body, how many towns actually did ban or attempted to ban obscenity on signs.
And did they hold up?
I don't know, they've never been tested, Marcia. Like,
I know,
it got me
there was a
thinking
sign
about, should
that
I do this
said-
in Bridgewater to at least attempt to solve my problem? Probably didn't.
So,
Too much, too far still, but I was surprised by it. I think at least two of the 4 towns I surveyed, Flemington exclusive, had prohibitions for obscenity.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea, I agree with Liz.
I like
If I have a
prohibition
kid,
of obscenity.
even as an adult, I don't wanna see it.
I don't either, but I mean, especially my kid walking by and then it's like this whole thing, you know?
And then you have, how many kids you have walking down the street? You have a hard enough time trying to
Do we
teach
put it
kids
in this ordinance?
values.
I mean, it is
Put
another
this in and
ordinance,
say that's
so I
okay.
think it's enforceable. I mean, the case law would indicate it's probably not.
Unless it's hate speech.
Oh, yeah.
If it's like that word to Carla on a sign becomes hate speech. Versus
I
some
mean,
generic.
yeah, that would be hate
policy.
speech, yeah. I would, this issue, I've described it to governing by them having another town has vexed us for a long time. And I don't know that we're ever gonna be able to take a movement on it.
Does the governing body wanna do it, a separate ordinance?
I would just include in this
I could
ordinance,
do what?
we can throw it in there, right, cause these other towns have. That was the one real shocking part of all this, was that,
I
you
think
know.
maybe we do a separate, I know Chris.
I think we need more
Carlo's
time to talk about that.
Like,
Let's
what
just
do
bring
we-
it up for the first time.
Isn't that something?
Yeah.
but if we do a separate ordinance for that, then we can move forward with the work that we've done to date. Because we don't wanna lose momentum on this, we wanna get it resolved
I agree.
and not, navel gaze for another month.
I don't
Okay.
have a problem with tabling now.
Alright, this will get tabled for now, we'll put it on the next,
Okay, let's-
let's put it on the
Yeah,
next.
I
agenda.
agree.
Further discussion, maybe Chris, you can provide us with one of those ordinances to take a look at.
You have them.
Yes, oh, this is the
Yeah, it's in
expert
here.
one.
It's either 2 or 3 of them.
Yeah,
Okay,
it was
That
in
in
his
there.
packet that he gave
And
us.
I was surprised by it, like I said, it was interesting to me.
do you need my notes, or do you take enough notes to write up an ordinance on this?
I was gonna go back and say. No, just because I wanted to slow
Get it
down
right,
some of it,
okay.
yeah.
Alright,
If you wanna give me your nose, I'll buttress my file. My intention is, I'm saying, just
Okay.
go back and listen to the
so it looks like you've got a consensus on 4 points, which is great. Okay, so let's take a look at the batter one, for a couple of minutes, and then we'll table that.
How long does, you guys will have to go over links?
What, the sign?
Yeah, because it mends the language.
Right, yeah,
So we'll
yeah,
have
that
to-
has to go there for consistency, what do you want?
I think you said 15 signs.
With the event permit, you get 15.
Is there a reason why 15?
We just kind of discussed it at the last meeting and everybody sort of came up with a
Why was your
consensus.
objection?
For like corn, tomato and beer,
How many you use?
we're somewhere close to like 40. And
So this
that's
was more like for the garage sale kind of thing, event permit.
Or isn't that more like for private sale, like the trunk sale?
yeah,
You don't need 40.
yeah, for a big event, I mean, and you'd be surprised.
Well, you could probably designate, like you could say for an event such. You can always designate.
And I would contemplate
Maybe.
a lower number, but like 15
Yeah.
is not, 15 is 15 corners and how many?
We were including in this, we charge a garage sale permit of $5 for a garage sale.
I know
Yeah.
how many.
So that was where I think the number was coming with,
Yeah.
like, it's 15 is way too many for a garage sale and is it enough for? So, But is there a category of your events that are big events?
Well, I know what we'd like to be considered. But we've never really had I mean, we're a street festival.
Well, maybe that's the
We
difference,
close
maybe it should be
street.
street festival park permits
Yeah,
versus a garage sale
Yeah.
permit
Yeah.
or small.
Everywhere.
Let me tweak this language on street festivals to give you 40. Versus,
and most people won't.
Garage
go to the
sales
expense
and-
for 40, cause they're expensive.
I mean, but if it's like a magic show in Stengel.
No.
That's a
It's a
small,
one night,
that's 15
yeah,
signs,
you're
enough
not
of it, right?
expecting thousands of people to come.
Okay,
but
so,
for-
right,
United Way, Salsa.
yep, okay, so
4th of
we're gonna,
July.
so street festivals 40, garage sales or Stengel event 15.
Yes.
Okay, let me tweak how to call it, I'm gonna call you now, see verbiage. Okay, all right. Let's see if we can get to some consensus on the Main Street banner. Prior to ordering, all banner art must be approved by the Flemington Borough Public Art Committee. Banners must be supplied by the entity on the permit. Right, so I wanna put up a banner, I gotta give my art in. Public Art Committee's gonna look at it and say it's fine. And then I have to also, obviously, supply it from the entity. Good? All banners are permitted to be installed 14 days prior to their event. All banners must be removed within 2 days of the conclusion of the event. Now, if we get something that's this like drawstring drapery kind of thing, no,
No, they have to have grommets
yep,
all around the edges.
Yep.
Because if one grommet breaks, you need to hook it to the next one.
but is this something that like one guy from the DPW can do?
No, you have to mandate that the sign come professionally printed on,
So it has to have all of those features,
yeah,
it has to
like
have all the
it has
grommets.
to have wind cuts, so wind can go through, like it has to be something that isn't going to pull down
Or blow away.
and be a
Yeah.
sail,
But
so,
I'm just talking about, Robin, the system to hang it.
right.
Is that, these new systems they have versus what we used to have?
Mhm.
Is that something one person can string and hang and pull? Or is it still gonna require guys in a,
Cherry picker bucket truck,
yeah,
something.
or is there something new
I
that's
don't
out
think
there?
you have an answer to that question yet.
Okay,
I think
But
Mike
I
is,
do
I think
think
Mike was
if-
checking that out.
If
actually.
you're requiring people to give you a sign, it has to be, it can't be,
It has to meet a criteria.
yeah, it has to have the things that protect you from it coming down.
okay,
And the other issue with this past sign system was that these things are extremely large, they're extremely heavy, and people never came to pick them up. So there was a glut of, 40-pound vinyl.
so we can do a refundable fee. As part of their permit fee, that they'll get it back when they pick up their sign,
They have to pick up their sign.
otherwise they don't get it back within X number of days. What's reasonable, Robin?
I mean, as an exhausted event planner today, I mean, you wanna give the person like 2 or 3 days after their event to pick it up.
So like 3, that's
So-
the maximum,
Yeah.
maximum would be 3.
So we charge like a $200 refundable deposit. With 3 days to pick up the sign to get the money back.
Sure.
I'm gonna make sure the $200 is enough to cover like the waste disposal cost. You know, in case they don't come. And
Somebody
So they-
needs insurance.
Why don't you just,
insurance is on here,
why don't you just do 350, because that's.
$350, refundable $350.
Yep.
Okay.
But
No,
at least
like
people
it.
wanna.
They're gonna get it back.
$200 may not be a big deal,
Okay.
350 is a big deal.
Okay, Flemington Borough has the right to cancel any banners in 3 weeks in an event for any reason. Councilwoman Engelhardt objected to that, but
Oh, what?
Sorry, today.
Flemington Borough has the right to cancel any banner within 3 weeks of an event for any reason. That was my extreme example that we're getting a dignitary showing up in Flemington with very short notice. And we want to put a banner up saying, so and so's coming.
So it supersedes, something supersedes.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I mean, I don't mind, refunding something that we refund.
Yeah.
The cost of the banner or 50% of the cost of the banner. Here's
My
fine.
only question around that is, what if I'm some outfit wants to come in and put my banner up? And I don't, I mean, how, it's sort of like,
So before you put the banner up or
can you
after you?
plan on
I
a?
think what she's saying is before you put the banner. Once the banner is up, it's up.
I was gonna say, okay, that's, okay.
Well,
so-
banners would be admitted to would be installed 14 days prior to the event, but we can cancel within 3 weeks, so it would be before they,
Yeah, they would have had their banner up.
right, and then we can reimburse them 50% of the cost of the banner or something. Or the entire cost.
And this is in case, like, Pope Francis wants to.
Yeah, like that, we get something to notice if the Pope is coming from. That's exactly, it's an exact reason,
Okay,
you know?
I'm wondering what's the probability. of such an
I
event?
don't know, I mean,
Low, but you want to be ready.
right. There's gonna
Just
be
want to
no-
make sure that they could recoup
Well,
their
I
costs.
think-
Obviously, we would, refund their permit fee, I guess, right? But if they've already spent how many hundreds of dollars on the banner itself, I would just want to make sure they're not out that money on our account, changing it on them.
Right. Well, I mean, it would have to be a really worthwhile event, right? Something really worthwhile for us to do that, because I put in here, we're gonna refund the cost of the banner up to
That's what I was gonna say, yeah, like
$500,
$500, yeah.
okay. All
That's a
right,
good idea.
that's a good idea. Okay, all entities must name the borough as an additional insured should any damage occur from the banner. Applicants must fill out the public art approval form and supply artwork at the time of application, not less than 30 days prior to the hanging of the banner. Upon approval, the permit fee, hanging fee, and insurance certificate are due within 3 business days of said approval. A separate check shall be made out to Flemington Fire Department presumably if they hang it, or to the DPW if they hang it. We'll have to figure that out. We're not there yet. I'm sorry, Tony.
No, go ahead.
Any event advertised in the borough but held outside the borough shall incur an additional $50 for the permit. So any event advertised in the borough but held outside the borough shall be basically charged $50. Because
I
we
almost
can't-
feel like maybe that should be more, because then it's like eating up time that more events in town would be potentially able to use the banner area, right? So
I'm good with that. You wanna make it $100?
if everyone else is on board with that, I think so, because we want people.
What?
Unless it's a county event, I don't think that we should be advertising for anything except Flemington Borough.
So Raritan Township has an annual, the Chamber of Commerce has
They
Community
have
Day.
streets and they have streets too, but
No, they don't.
we are,
just think they do.
we are the county seat, so.
But the Chamber of Commerce has Community Day down at the fair every year, and there's the 4-H fair. Neither of those are county.
I think they are county, because the county sponsors and supports them with. Our parade is sponsored with county support. So I think the county sponsors. or
But they're
supports
not
them.
the underlying permit, they're not the ones, the county, it's about who's gonna fill out that permit and pay for the sign, so the chamber's filling out a permit, 4-H fair would fill out a permit. That's on county property,
Mhm.
you know,
Maybe if it's on county property, then it counts as a county event, because I don't think they let anyone but the chamber, you know what I mean? The chamber is a county-wide organization. It's not like White House Station wants. us to
so the deal with
advertise.
the 4-H fair, which is on county property, is the 4-H fair is the lessor. And they can have fun, they have or used to before COVID, I don't know if they still do, they have a huge antiques show down there, craft show down there every year, because they charge the vendors and they make money, it's how they put the fair on.
But isn't the 4-H fair for the county?
No, 4-H fair is a not-for-profit, it is
Mhm.
completely excluded from Hunterdon County, they have a lease agreement on the South County Park.
It's Hunterdon County,
But the 4-H club,
yeah.
I'm sorry.
Is it
country girl.
not-for-profit?
Right.
It's a not-for-profit.
It is not in, but not of the
I'm
county,
gonna
it is
say-
separate.
I think that because Flemington Borough is really needs help in getting people to come here so that our streets are more safer and more walkable and they're more lively, and the purpose of the events is to bring foot traffic to our businesses, to our streets, to solve many of our problems and create joy.
Do we wanna just say, no, eventually advertise in the borough, so on the in Flemington Borough on the banner, unless it's gonna occur in the borough.
Hold
Well,
on,
if it's the
hold on, though,
county.
because,
Yeah,
But what,
yeah.
there's instances where we've wanted to use county property and Flemington Borough has had to pay for a facility,
But-
right?
I'm just saying if it's, no, this would be if it's outside the borough.
Oh,
So if they're
I
gonna,
thought
if they
there's-
wanna,
Happening outside.
if they wanna advertise the Deer Path Concert Series
That's
in
right, that's
Reddington Township, we were not gonna allow it. If they're gonna have, if they wanna advertise the community day that the chamber puts on, we're not gonna allow it because it's not in the borough. That's what I'm asking you guys. Do you wanna say, I mean, if the county wants to advertise a concert series in the little park behind the courthouse that they own, that would be allowed. If they wanna advertise goat football, that would be allowed.
Well, what's the difference if they do it on a banner or if they do it on a lawn sign?
None, it's just banner's more expensive. More
But I'm
people.
just saying,
Well, no, the
but I'm going back
banner
to
is
what her
only
box
one.
is.
There's only one banner. And it's on our main street. And it's, in addition to offering an advertisement, it's also creating a sense of placemaking. That this main street is a place.
Yeah.
Where we advertise what we do.
I understand what
That's the
Robin's
point.
saying, I hear what you're saying, I don't
I mean,
disagree
I've
with it,
never seen
I'm just trying to understand how it's a slippery slope.
Full disclosure, I drive down Clinton Main Street in the town. And, you know, you see duck racing and all the cute things that make the town feel like a special place. That's, I think, the purpose of the
Yeah.
banner, except we are county seat. And therefore, I feel like if the county was having a county-wide event. You know, that might be as a county seat, something
So,
we would
any
advertise.
event advertised in the borough must be held in the borough.
I'm in agreement with that.
That's okay,
That makes sense.
I don't have a problem with that at all.
Thank you, Robin.
Look, the county's been putting on events without the banner, they'll keep putting events on with, you know,
So there won't be any
they'll
extra
be fine.
fee.
Like, they can write us a letter.
Okay, so Flemington is government permit fees, Flemington Borough approved events, which include the fire department, SCP, police department, Flemington Public Library, etc. No permit fee would be required at all, there is a banner hanging charge, don't know what that is yet. Because it's gonna be charged. So we don't wanna be out of money, but there's no permit fee. County government events. No permit fee required if event is held within the borough. Taking out the extra fee, because there won't be any fee, because it's not gonna be outside the borough, there's gonna be a banner hanging charge. 100 municipalities, they're coming off totally, because they're never advertising anything in our borough, right? Not-for-profit organizations, Flemington Borough not-for-profit, any Flemington Borough not-for-profits. $50 banner permit fee, we had asked Carla to review these fees, and Carla, you said, what did you tell me, that you really had nothing to go on?
Yeah.
That these were kind of in line with our other permit fees? Okay, there is a banner hanging charge, non-Flemington Borough not-for-profits. Again. A non-Flemington Borough, like the Flemington Food Pantry is not a Flemington not-for-profit, they're in Merritt Township. But they might wanna do something in Flemington, they used to have. We used to have the open bowl, the empty bowl event. Both at the St. Magdalene Church as well as the Methodist Church. So. Non-Flemington Borough not-for-profits, there's $100 banner permit fee, twice as much as the borough ones. And then for-profit entities, Flemington Borough for-profit business events, $100 banner permit fee and a hanging charge. And non-Flemington Borough for-profit business events, again, I'm not sure who would advertise for, what kind of an event an entity outside of Flemington might have in Flemington. Can we think of an example, Robin,
Oh,
where,
sure.
where, I don't know,
Well, I think personally, businesses would come up with events just to be able to use that banner. And I don't know that that's really, I don't know that, I think these should be,
if Flemington Car and Truck Country,
yeah,
which no longer sponsors community events, it's a new owner. But hypothetically, or ShopRite, sponsored some event downtown. They sponsored, Turkey Trot, the Turkey Trot's an outside not-for-profit, not in Flemington Borough. You know, if they want, they're gonna be charged the not-for-profit amount for an outside event being held in Flemington. But if they wanna use our banner, but if Wakefern wanted to sponsor something in Flemington Borough, they are a business outside of Flemington. That could very well sponsor something in the
As
borough.
long as it's a cultural event or a free public event, I think those are the criteria.
Well, the event has to be in Flemington,
Right, but I mean, if it's like, Flemington Department Store is gonna have a carpet sale at the.
If that's in Flemington Apartments, I mean,
No,
even if they
no,
moved
no,
into
I'm
the church,
saying if-
yeah, no.
If you wanna have a carpet, if they wanted to have a carpet sale, you know, at Stengel Factory or something, like, I think this should be for cultural events and for public events.
I see how you, how it could be taken to be
Yeah,
used,
yeah.
Yeah,
absolutely,
I don't think you know, it could be a ticketed cultural event.
Yep.
But it really shouldn't be like, you know.
one of
we
those
might
shots,
want-
the art sales that, with those
Yeah.
art sales that move around, okay. All right, I'm gonna take all these notes with Chris, we're gonna try to get these into some kind of order, and maybe you actually have written to speak. All right. That was worthwhile, getting close, guys, getting close, okay, we're up to public comment session number 2. Anybody know, everybody lost, everybody
No,
online,
no,
that's really.
one person.
That's good. What's wrong? Oh, Peggy. Okay, payment of bills, authorizing payment of bills in the amount of $3,759,381.09. Got a motion?
So we'll
Is there a second?
Sorry, second.
Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Fasaro,
Yes.
Councilman Levitt,
Yes.
Council President Long,
Yes.
Councilman Parker,
Yes.
and Council Vice President Rossetti.
Said yes. Okay, and then we have executive session, I've asked negotiations, Carlo Captiva, Courthouse Square to stay on this agenda, so I could just give you guys updates. As needed, and public safety, is the second one. Can I have a motion to go into executive session?
Well, move.
Is there a second?
Parker second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Take a recess until 9 o'clock or earlier. I get a motion. We're back out of public. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
Well, move.
Is there a second?
Parker second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Good night, thank you, ladies.
Good
Good
night.
night.
Chris, we'll talk. Thank you.